It is night. A storm is tearing through the sky over Washington state. Winds over 100 miles an hour, temperatures far below freezing. And at 10,000 feet, the back door of a passenger jet swings open. A man in a business suit steps to the edge. No helmet, no protective gear. To understand how strange this is, we have to go back. November 24th, 1971. The day before Thanksgiving. Portland, Oregon. A man walks up to the Northwest Orient Airlines counter at the airport. He is calm. He is polite. Nobody looks at him twice. He wears a dark business suit, a white shirt, a black tie. He looks like every other middle-aged businessman flying home for the holiday. He gives his name as Dan Cooper. And in 1971, nobody asks for identification. You could buy a plane ticket with any name you wanted. He pays in cash. A one-way ticket to Seattle. Just $18.52. He boards Flight 305, a Boeing 727. He takes a seat near the back of the plane. He lights a cigarette. He orders a drink, bourbon and soda. He pays for it. He even leaves a tip. This is the man who is about to commit one of the most daring crimes in history. And right now, he is just sitting quietly by the window, watching the runway. Shortly after takeoff, Cooper does something small. He hands a note to the flight attendant sitting near him, Florence. She assumes it is a lonely businessman slipping her his phone number. She drops it into her purse without reading it. Then Cooper leans in close, and he says 4 words she will never forget. "Miss, you'd better look at that note." She opens it. The handwriting is neat. The message is not. "I have a bomb in my briefcase. I want you to sit next to me." Her heart stops. She sits. Quietly, Cooper opens the briefcase on his lap, just a few inches, just enough. Inside, she sees a tangle of red sticks, wires, a battery. It looks exactly like a bomb. And now this calm, polite businessman has complete control of a passenger jet full of people. He tells her his demands, and they are very, very specific. Cooper wants $200,000 in $20 bills. That is around $1.5 million in today's money. He wants 4 parachutes, 2 main parachutes, 2 backups, and he wants it all waiting for him when the plane lands in Seattle. No funny stuff, he tells the crew. The pilots radio the demands to the ground, and here's the chilling part. The other passengers, 36 people, have no idea any of this is happening. They think the plane is circling because of a minor mechanical issue. They are calm. They are reading. They are sleeping. While at the back of the plane, one man holds all of their lives in a briefcase. On the ground, the FBI scrambles. The airline makes a decision. They will pay. They gather 10,000 $20 bills, but they do something clever. Every single bill is photographed. Every serial number is recorded. If this money ever shows up anywhere in the world, they will know. Remember that detail. It matters later. The mystery of Flight 305 was just beginning. Cooper was in control, and the world was about to watch the impossible. The plane lands in Seattle. It is dark now. The jet sits on a quiet runway, far from the terminal. An FBI agent carries the money on board. A heavy bag, 21 pounds of cash, and the 4 parachutes. Cooper keeps his word. He releases all 36 passengers. He even releases 2 of the flight attendants. He is unfailingly polite the entire time. Witnesses later say he seemed calm, intelligent, almost relaxed. This was not a panicked man. This was a man following a plan. Now only 4 people remain on the plane with him. 2 pilots, an engineer, and Tina. Cooper gives his next order. Take off again, fly toward Mexico, fly low, under 10,000 feet. Fly slow, and keep the cabin unpressurized. The crew realizes something terrifying. He knows exactly how this aircraft works. He knows things only a trained person would know. And he is planning to do something no one has ever done before. The plane lifts off into the night. Outside, a violent thunderstorm. Rain lashes the windows. Cooper orders the entire crew into the cockpit, and he tells them to shut the door. Now he is alone in the back of a flying jet, with the money. From inside the cockpit, the crew can only wait. Then, a light flashes on the control panel. It means someone has opened the rear stairs, the staircase that folds down from the tail of the plane. In mid-air, the pilots feel it, a sudden bump in air pressure. The time is roughly 8:13 p.m. The plane is somewhere over the dark forests of Southwest Washington, and in that instant, Cooper steps off the staircase into a storm, into freezing wind, into total darkness. Wearing only a thin suit and a raincoat, with a bag of cash tied to his body, the crew has no idea he is gone. They keep flying. They keep trying to speak to him over the intercom, getting no answer. When the plane finally lands in Reno, Nevada, they open the cabin. It is empty. Dan Cooper is gone, and he took the impossible with him. What happened next was the largest manhunt the FBI had ever launched. They gave it a code name, NORJAC, short for Northwest Hijacking. Hundreds of agents, search planes, helicopters, soldiers on the ground combing through dense forest. They searched the freezing wilderness for weeks. They expected to find a body, a parachute caught in a tree, a bag of money in the mud, something, anything. They found nothing, not a thread, not a footprint, not a single trace of the man who had just pulled off the perfect crime. The only thing Cooper left behind was on his seat, a black clip-on tie and a small gold tie clip. He had taken it off before he jumped. That tie would sit in an evidence box for decades, and one day, it would become the most important object in the entire case. But not yet. For years, silence. No money showed up. No body was found. Then, in 1980, 9 years later, something strange happened. A family was having a picnic along the Columbia River. An 8-year-old boy named Brian was smoothing out the sand, and his fingers hit something. Bundles of rotting $20 bills, almost $6,000. The FBI checked the serial numbers. They matched. This was Cooper's ransom money. The first physical proof in nearly a decade. But instead of answering questions, it created new ones, because the money was found in the wrong place, miles away from where Cooper should have landed. How did it get there? Did the river carry it? Did Cooper bury it? Did he survive and lose just a small part of it? Or did he die that night, and the storm scattered his fortune? No one knows. To this day, that is the only money from the ransom that has ever been found. The other $194,000? It has never appeared. Not in a bank, not in a store, not anywhere on Earth. The investigation was cooling off, but for some, the search for the truth was only just beginning. Over the years, the FBI investigated more than 800 suspects. 800. They chased leads across the entire country. Most led nowhere, but one name kept rising to the top. A man named Richard McCoy, a Vietnam War veteran, a skilled parachutist, a man who knew how to jump from aircraft. And here is why investigators could not let him go. Just 5 months after the Cooper hijacking, McCoy did almost the exact same thing. He hijacked a plane. He demanded cash. He demanded 4 parachutes. And then, he jumped out of the back of the jet in midair. Exactly like Cooper. It was as if someone had watched the perfect crime and tried to repeat it. But McCoy was caught. He was sent to prison, and then his story turned even darker. He escaped, and 3 months later, the FBI tracked him down. There was a shootout, and Richard McCoy was killed. The man who might have been D.B. Cooper was dead, and with him, it seemed, the truth. The man who jumped into the sky would stay a ghost forever. The decades passed. The evidence sat in storage. And in 2016, after 45 years, the FBI did something it almost never does. It officially closed the case. They said their resources were better spent elsewhere. The greatest unsolved mystery in American crime was shut. Except, that is not where the story ends. For years, 2 people stayed completely silent: the son and daughter of Richard McCoy. Shantae and Rick. They grew up believing something they could never prove, that their own father was D.B. Cooper. But their mother was still alive, and as long as she lived, they said nothing. Then their mother passed away, and the children finally decided to speak. They reached out to an investigator, and they handed over 2 objects that had been hidden on the family property for 50 years. The first was a logbook. The second was a parachute. And not just any parachute, a heavily modified one. An expert who examined it said it was, quote, 1 in a billion, a custom rig built for one specific, impossible jump. Suddenly, the case roared back to life. The FBI took the evidence. They wanted to dig up Richard McCoy's body, to take his DNA, and to compare it to the DNA left on that black clip-on tie. The tie Cooper took off, moments before he jumped into the dark. After 50 years, the answer was finally within reach. And then, something happened that nobody expected. The FBI took the 1 in a billion parachute. They studied it, they tested it, and then, quietly, they gave it back. No announcement, no conclusion, no explanation. The case status still says unsolved. So what does that mean? Did the parachute prove nothing? Or did it prove too much, and someone decided the world wasn't ready to know? The lead prosecutor who once chased Cooper called him something unforgettable. He said, "This is Robin Hood. He foiled the best efforts of the establishment. A man with no name, who beat the most powerful agency on earth and vanished into a storm with a fortune." So think about it. A quiet man in a business suit, who paid for his own drink, who left a tip, who was unfailingly polite, walked to the back of a jet and jumped into the impossible. Did he survive that fall? Did he live the rest of his life as a free man, or did the forest swallow him that night, his secret buried with his bones? More than 50 years later, we still do not know his name, and maybe we never will. Now I want to hear from you. What do you believe happened to D.B. Cooper? A, B, C, or D? Comment your answer below. I read every single one. And if this mystery gave you chills, you already know what to do. Thank you for watching.